Nobody move.
Nobody gets hurt.
I'm Nick G.
I'm Mike D.
And this is Good Cop, Bad Cop. This episode of the Good Cop, Bad Cop podcast is proudly presented by the New Solutions Network. Where powerful stories ignite transformative change, we dive deep to reveal unfiltered truth shaped by grit and resilience, illuminating even the darkest corners. Have a story to share or want to sponsor a show that drives real impact? Reach out to the New Solutions Network. This isn't just media, it's a movement. Visit us at newsolutionsnetwork.com. I'd like to thank our sponsors today, Pop McCann Whiskey, smoothest drink in the land. Grab your bottle today at popsmccannwhiskey.com. Also like to thank Friends of Martina White. Visit votemartina.com for more information about the work Martina has been doing as state representative of Pennsylvania. We would also like to thank our sponsor, Beyond Creative. If you're ready to take your online presence to the next level, visit beyondocreative.com or call 267-362-WEB1 to discuss your project. And our title sponsor, AR Law, arjusticenow.com. We fight so you don't have to. Adams Renzi Law. We would also like to thank our sponsor, Morrow Flooring, hardwood, laminate, vinyl, tile, and carpet. You get military and first responders discount. That is Morrow Flooring. You can go to goodcopbadcoppodcast.com. Click on his link for more details. All right, welcome back. Good Cop, Bad Cop. We got a great episode today. It's just me and Mike with a little twist. I'm Nick G.
I'm Mike D.
And today I'm going to interview you.
Oh, come on.
Yep, that's right. Listen,
that's not very
it's
not good TV.
Man, not good TV, dude. You prance around the whole country going all kinds of podcasts all over America. Now, on your own podcast, you're going to get interviewed.
Oh, boy. Go ahead.
Yeah, you got an amazing story to tell. You're not all great, but, you've turned your life around. You're a good person now. We would not be doing this. I've seen you do good things for people today in this world that you now live in. But prior to that, it wasn't really exactly all, horseshoes and rainbows, whatever the hell they say.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, butterflies
and camels.
And bubble gum.
Yeah, bubble gum. So, why don't we go back, Mike, to when you first became a cop? What was that like?
Scary.
Yeah? Like, you just graduated the academy. What did you have? I mean...
So, first of all, the academy was an experience itself, right? I lived on Long Island. I commuted every day to the academy. And sometimes I ended up staying in my grandmother's home. She lived in Florida, but she had a home in Brooklyn. So I would spend like 1 week there and then 1 week on Long Island, depending upon the shift. The 4 to 12 shift, right. I would spend at my grandmother's house.
This is after the academy?
No, in the academy.
You had shifts in the academy?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold on. See, I don't know. The Philly Police Academy was Monday through Friday.
Yes.
Day work.
Right.
That's it.
Yeah, we didn't have that.
So how does that academy work?
So we had evening shift academy and day shift academy. So
like
we would rotate every week. 1 week it was day shift, the next week it was night shift.
Monday to Friday?
Monday through Friday.
Okay.
Listen, I'm saying Monday through Friday, but I don't know. It was 40 years ago now,
right.
So I don't remember exactly. I don't think there was any 3-day swings like we.
Yeah, or no, I doubt there'd be weekends, right?
Yeah, people took that detail for the weekend off.
Yeah,
so
exactly,
I would imagine that you're right.
Okay,
yes.
All right. So you have nights there. That's different.
I mean, someone could call in and correct me because I don't remember.
Yeah.
I was in Company 36, 8236.
Now, we all know in your career, you're the bad cop. You went bad. You went to federal prison. When you graduate the academy, were you thinking like, man, I'm going to go steal money and be corrupt?
No. Listen, I graduated the academy. First of all, I was very nervous, like I said. I mean, I'm still a young man trying to learn.
How old were you?
I was 21.
Okay.
Yeah.
A baby?
A baby, still physically immature. I was just starting to grow as a man. I was a late bloomer, so I was starting to come into my own. So it was very intimidating. But in the meantime, you're a policeman. I mean, hello?
Yeah.
You wake up one day, you're a policeman.
Yeah.
Sanctified, certified, registered, insured, gun, trained, and now you're a policeman at 21 years old. And I just started to shave that three whiskers on my chin.
I got hired at 19 and started the academy at 20. So I was still 20 years old when I was out on the street. And again, like you said, I would hear people, 30-year-olds, to me were very old, like 35, I was 20.
Right.
And they're complaining to me about marriage. And I used to say, I'm 20 years old. What do you want me to tell you about marriage?
Yeah, right.
How about you stop being a whore and you stop drinking?
Yeah. And you stop fighting, and then I'll see you tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I don't know how to tell you to be married.
Well, here's what I used to do. You go back out to the bar where you came from, and you don't let him in the house.
Yeah.
And don't let him in the house when he's drunk.
Go stay at your guma's or your friend's house for the night. I don't want to come back here, or people are going to jail.
Yeah. Yes.
Grow up.
Yes.
I'm 20 years old. What do you want me to tell you?
Hello?
Yeah,
Stop fighting. Something I still tell myself today.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, stop fighting.
But to my point, we're way too young. I don't think. I think 25 should be the minimum age to be a police officer in this country because you're not mature enough at 20.
No. Not
for the responsibility.
So as an outgrowth of my case, when they came to interview me, the Mullen Commission people, and they told me they wanted to go through what happened. Why? How did we, as a department, and you as an individual, fail? How did it fail? And one of the things I told them was that I was just too young to understand the responsibility handed to me. Yes, I swore an oath. Yes, I was 20, 21 years old when I did this. Yes, I should have been, but that doesn't necessarily mean that I was. And maybe I shouldn't have been at that. I don't know. I mean, certainly we sent people off to war at 17 and 18 years old, correct?
Yeah.
So that is the case. But we, as older men, we look at those kids, of course, they're young men.
Babies.
We look at them as babies today. Now, picture that man now in the civilian world, in the police world, running, like you said, the woman's 40, the husband's 43, they're in a family dispute, they got bills, they got kids, they got problems, they got relationship issues, and you walk in the house and you just tapped your 19-year-old girlfriend yesterday.
I slept till 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Got up,
went to work.
Yeah, went to work.
Yeah, so here you are walking into their world, and what do you know?
Yeah, I don't know anything. Yeah,
Right.
I have no real world experience
And yet
at all.
you had an immense power, correct?
Yeah, so I don't know. Tell me if you found this to be true. When I graduate the academy, the power that you have, they don't really teach you when and how to use it. It sounds like superpowers almost, but it's not. Like taking somebody's freedom away and arrest them, it's a great responsibility. And that was one thing. Like, when can I? When can't I? What can I? You know what I mean? Like, I remember it might have been a couple days on a job, and we broke up a speakeasy. And this guy, I still remember to this day, guy was in my face barking. Now, the veteran cop in me would have put him on the ground and locked us up.
Right.
I let it go. I didn't know. I'm brand new.
What am I doing?
Yeah, like,
is he wrong?
Am I going
right?
to start a riot? Can I lock him up? Like, he's barking at me.
Yeah.
We're face to face, and I'm kind of moving him out of my
He's in your
personal
space. Once he's in your space, you can arrest him.
Yeah,
we all know that.
Now I knew I could have locked him, but then I wasn't sure. And like, will I get in trouble?
Right.
Will I start something? Like,
Unsure,
you don't
right.
know.
Maybe he knows this. The other cop's not overreacting. Like, right? So you're getting confronted.
Yeah, we were all handling stuff. It's speakeasy. People are
so
drunk.
a lot is going on, right?
Yeah,
and you're
yeah.
confronted with this.
It was like my third day.
aggressive guy.
Yep.
In your face. Probably if he wasn't drunk, he probably wouldn't be a decent. He'd probably be a decent guy.
And at the same time, the man in me, I don't want to be exactly. We're not supposed to curse anymore in a good cop, bad cop. We'll edit that out.
Okay. What's that? Is that a curse?
Cat.
Okay. Okay.
Right.
Vagina.
Tom Jones.
You don't want to be a vagina.
Yeah, you don't want to be a vagina. And it's just, it's tough. Was that an issue for you at all?
I didn't know when the arrest. So a lot of things that people don't understand is cops often get personally attacked, and we're not supposed to take anything personal. Right. So what happens is people get in your face, like you said, and there's a fine line in anybody's world, civilian or police, where when someone steps in your space, they've now invaded your space, and you have the right for self-defense. We all know that through training, but that's a fine line. And so from the civilian world, you could punch somebody out. They got in your face, right? But in the police world now, you just don't punch somebody out and leave. You have to make an arrest. So that's when the wrestling match goes on is, am I about to charge this guy with a crime, and what is the crime, right? So it becomes later on in your career, there's no thought to it because you know where the boundary lines are,
right.
and you know how to you know how to articulate.
Experience.
You know how to articulate the reason you're making an arrest. And by the way, I would say this for you, and I'd say this for me, I never over-arrested. I never created arrests. I don't know you specifically, but I always tried to avoid arrests first. That was the first thing. Now, unless it was totally a violent situation going on or a pursuit, you detain immediately until you can figure it out. And then, of course...
I didn't like court.
I didn't like court either.
Because I was usually out drinking
like
the night before.
You like the street.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you like the street.
I was catting around at night. I didn't want to wake up early for
You didn't want to go to court the
court
next day. Yeah. So it was difficult initially making arrests, but as your career goes from your initiations fee, you start to pick and choose when to make arrests. Would that be an accurate statement?
Yeah.
Specific jobs you'd go on, drug runs, gun runs, assaults.
Well, anything, violent crime, real crime, you knew kind of when to make the arrest. But, when you can use
But
discretion.
sometimes you had two guys that had a fight.
Yeah.
Did you arrest everybody?
No, it's same thing with very minimal amounts of drugs. It's had a little bit of a joint on them. I didn't lock them up.
Right. So,
You know,
so we use your discretion.
The discretion.
Yeah.
Did I put it on a property seat? No, I threw it down.
You threw it in the sewer, you ate it, whatever it was.
Yeah, they didn't eat it. I threw the shit away. But
I'll tell you a story. So we're in the street and we're chasing crack and coke guys. So one day I come across this thing, and now at that point I had tasted cocaine in my life. I wasn't hooked on it. I wasn't running with cocaine, but I had tasted it and I liked it. I didn't like the taste. I liked the smell. I didn't really like cocaine. I just liked the smell of it. So I took this thing and I opened it up and I did a little thing and I threw up my guts.
why?
Because it was heroin.
Was it? Oh,
it
God.
was heroin.
You didn't die.
I didn't know what well, back then they didn't have fentanyl, thank God. But I just took a little...
Enough heroin's overdose.
Yeah, well, I didn't take an 8-ball of heroin. I took a little... It was a dime bag, and I took a little sniff from the dime bag. It was heroin. I'm throwing out the car door. My partner's going, what's the matter? I go, I don't know, but that's not cocaine.
Listen, you're telling a story before. I've handled drugs and got a little doozy from touching. A little woozy.
Oh, did you? Yeah.
Should I tell anyone about that?
Yeah.
I don't want to look like I put rubber gloves on. I just forgot about it.
Yeah, but really, you could have pissed dirty.
Yeah, probably could have pissed dirty.
You could have pissed dirty at that point too.
It's tough.
That's what the angel dust did to me.
Now,
I think it's still affecting me today. That angel dust.
yeah, I think so. Residuals.
Yes.
Now, one of the things I noticed, cops do get jaded. I think this is part of the reason. Everybody hates us. We're always attacked. We're so bad, and we start to connect with criminals more than we do with regular people. You get to a point in a cop's career where you have more in common with the bad guys than you do with the good guys.
Yeah, because you're pulled in that direction.
Yeah, you're kind of the same.
Because you're hanging out with them.
Yeah, you are.
You're hanging out with them. Either you're arresting them or you're seeing them in the street every day. One of the tumbling blocks in my era was, and I've alluded to this in the past, I don't know about so much as the Good Cop, Bad Cop show, but we became their force protection. Like, we actually became their personal private bodyguards. Not because I was getting paid off. That was a different scenario. But when your police department tells you, we don't want you making drug arrests because we're eliminating patrolmen from the street.
I've been there.
Okay,
yes.
so am I saying
thing.
something that's familiar? Because
so we've saying
oftentimes I get attacked for saying this.
No, police department. You can't quality of life arrests at one point. Stop making them. We don't have enough people in the street. Right. It becomes an officer say, well, it's my fault that we don't have enough people. Yeah. Then you only have 2 people running around East Division and 24th, which is very dangerous.
Right.
So I get it. Yeah, we've been told that.
Yeah, like unless it's egregious.
And then
unless it's egregious, let it go.
And then we went the other way where he didn't want, our captain at the time didn't want stolen cars or robbery arrests. They didn't care about that.
Right.
He wanted hookers. He wanted open containers, quality of life,
So,
which was all he wanted.
Instead of
didn't care about the other
rape,
things.
robbery, murders.
Didn't care. Part ones, it used to be how many part ones you had, which is felony.
Right.
Didn't care. He wanted all quality of life arrests. So that's kind of when I got really jaded, and I was like, screw this.
Yeah, you see. Okay, so you did get a little jaded.
Absolutely.
You did get a little jaded.
I got hurt. When I got injured on duty and screwed by medical with my knee, then I realized, I'm just a number. They don't care about me.
Yeah. I used to think that when I left the precinct that night, that they were going to pray that I would show up the next day. Like, that's how important I thought I was.
I loved it, man. I did. In the first year, it was like, man, I don't want to go home. This is
Never.
great.
It was
like,
great. It was fun, right?
Hunting men is one of the best things you can ever do.
It was fun. It was
You're
a lot of
hunting
fun.
Bad guys.
But I made it fun because they started to hate on hunting men. The whole, listen, we had our finger in that dike, bro. Kensington, tough. I've been there. Goblins, they call it. Whatever you want to call those ghosts and goblins, the zombies walking around there, I get it. The violence directed at people in the 80s and early 90s was insanity, okay? And you were in the middle of it. Now, most smart people don't attack the police because there's no win in that, right? So we weren't directly attacked.
Yeah, largest gang in the city.
Yes, but we were in the crosshairs of every major dispute in the city, whether it was drug gangs, whether it was just civilians that were going crazy. And back then, it was so out of control that I would push people out of my patrol car. Please, not now. I'm busy. I got things to do.
Dude, I actually had someone hop in my car and give up. I swear to God, he jumped in the back.
It was the winter.
And gave
the winter.
Gave us drugs and wanted to be locked up. I couldn't believe it, dude. Could not believe it.
So this does happen.
Yeah.
And the departments are the ones that basically ask us to not make arrests, in their own little subtle way, right? Like I would say, they would give me a unfavorable assignment. Like, go walk the weeds in Vandalia.
But you can't legally have a quota.
Correct.
So I remember I got in trouble one time. I wasn't given enough.
Someone does,
enough. So I had a meeting. I knew my FOP rep. He's in there, and I said, "Well, I'll be honest with you. I don't feel like I'm part of the team, Captain. I'm on the outside looking in." Well, I said, "Well, I put 80 miles on that patrol car. Look at my log. You know how much crime I prevented." And I believe that.
Yeah. Just by being there.
I didn't sit. I drove 80 miles in a very tiny sector in 8 hours.
Right. So they saw me. You were present.
Yes.
You were omnipresent.
But I didn't give you enough activity. I gave pen and paper, slid it across the table, said, "Write down, give me the number of what I'm supposed to give you." He wouldn't do it. And he'd go back to, I can't do that. But you need to. I said, and again, I'd slide it back.
Yeah, they didn't like
write the
you.
number down.
They didn't like you.
No, write the number down.
They didn't like you. Yeah.
And I was proud. I put 80 miles on that car. I did my job. I prevented crime.
That's good. I like that. I like that.
True story.
I like that.
Right.
Yeah. So and in many ways we all felt the same. Our presence was enough. That's what you have us here for now.
I'd like to thank our sponsors today, Martina White. Friends of Martina White can visit votemartina.com for more information about the work Martina's been doing as a state representative in Pennsylvania. And let me tell you, Mike, she's a big supporter of police. She backs the blue. She's a proven fighter for families, women, everybody.
Is she a patriot? Is she America first?
Absolutely. She encompasses, the American spirit for sure. We have a big population of listeners in Northeast Philadelphia, Southeast Pennsylvania, which would be her area. So you can check her out.
Has she been in? I'm not familiar with the Philly district. Is she new to the scene, or is she, looking for re-election?
She'll be up for re-election in a couple years, but she's been around for a while. She has a proven track record.
Okay.
You can check her out. Her record really speaks for itself, especially when it comes to fighting for everyday citizens and backing the blue.
It's nice to have someone back in the blue. I mean, these officers are out there risking their lives every day, and with little pay and little appreciation in today's environment, it's been very difficult. And as you know, being a Philadelphia guy,
unfortunately, it's something that's not common. Should be. It used to be a time where both sides of the aisle agreed on law enforcement, and that's something that's completely lacking. But with Martina White, she steps up to the plate, always has our backs, and does what's right.
Great. Good luck with Martina.
Yeah, you can get more information at votemartina.com. I'd like to thank our title sponsor of the show, Adams Renzi Law, AR Law. They can be found at arjusticenow.com. And just to let you know, I know both of them personally. Christy, one of the nicest people you'll ever meet, total sweetheart, absolute pit bull in the courtroom. And Nick Renzi, he's a South Philadelphia guy, true and true, neighborhood man. He's for the people. He helps people out down in South Philly, all around Philadelphia.
Their offices in South Philly itself?
Yes, their office in right around South Philly, Center City, right on the border.
Do they handle
there.
a lot of criminal cases?
They handle everything, absolutely.
Are they on call 24/7 for someone who might take a pinch somewhere?
Why, you might be taking a pinch.
Well, I mean,
you
never know. I mean, wherever you show up, you got to be ready.
Well, you can keep their card on you.
Well,
go to their website and call them up.
Will they give me a deal since they're sponsors of the show?
You might get a percentage off. I'll have to talk to her.
Okay. Yeah.
If you used them a few years ago, you might have not have gotten 14 years.
Well, that's another story.
Another story for another time.
That's right.
Again, AR Law, check them out. arjusticenow.com. We would also like to thank our sponsor, Beyond.0. In today's world, your business is practically invisible if you're not online. With so many options for marketing your business, it's easy to get confused. That's where Beyond.0 Creative steps in. They have the expertise to help you with all of your marketing needs. Need a website that wows visitors? They'll build it. Want to reach more customers with Google Ads? They'll make it happen. They'll even manage your social media so you can focus on what you do best. Beyond.0 Creative is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau and Google Premier Partner. They're the real deal. If you're ready to take your online presence to the next level, visit beyondocreative.com. That's BIONDOCREATIVE.com or call 267-362-WEB1, Web 1 to discuss your project now. I'd like to thank our sponsor, Morrow Flooring, hardwood, laminate, vinyl, tile, and carpet, military first responder discount. You know, Tommy, we had him as a guest on a podcast. You can get your flooring done by a real American hero.
Yeah, and he's on time and on budget.
Yes, he is. He will beat any price. Bring a quote, an estimate, whatever you have. Tommy will beat it. 100% guaranteed. You have our backing on that one.
And he'll be there himself.
Absolutely. You can get a real American hero do your flooring for you.
I would use a summons for me, I would use it as a way of getting information. Like, I want to know who you are because I know you're up to something.
Oh, yeah.
So I would see license, registration, insurance card, and I probably wouldn't even write you a ticket because I didn't want you to know who.
I didn't write tickets.
Yeah, listen, bro, I wrote Benjamin Ward was the police commissioner. He got a ticket every week, okay? I just put my birth date and an address, 660 Hagerman, okay? 660 Hagerman Apartment C504. That was Benjamin Ward must live there. If you go look, he's got a bunch of warrants for not showing up. He was born in January, though. I don't know when the real Benjamin Ward was born, but I wrote him a red light ticket every week because they required one red light ticket a week, and he got one every week.
Well, we had, we need to get our quality of life, so I would pull up, I already at the district, we did it paper, it wasn't computer, so I had all these papers already filled out, and in a known drug house, abandoned house, loitering, blah, 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 blah. And then I would just call them all out of the house, sign, there's your court date, there's your court date. I just had 10 summary arrests. You happy? This is what you wanted.
So you actually gave it to people?
Oh, yeah, I did my job. Yeah. Here's your, show up to court. That's your court date. We write down a date and time. And it would get processed and filed, and it was a legitimate arrest. You didn't have to take them in.
You didn't have to take them in?
No.
Oh, that's
right
nice.
there on the
So you got your number.
Yep, that was it. I'm like, okay.
So you got your number.
Yeah, I played the game. It took a while for me to actually get there.
Because you wanted to do the right thing.
Yeah, finally said, I'm going to do it.
They treated us like we were the crack dealers' armed security because we weren't allowed to arrest them. So what eventually happens with us is the people in the community, because they're still calling the police cracks, because they don't want them out there in front of their homes. They feel intimidated. You can't blame them. Even if they are in the hood, they're still regular people in that hood going to work.
They're very good people.
Very good people. They care. They do the best they can in a bad situation. And here I get calls selling drugs, male black, male Hispanic, male whatever they are on the corner. I go there, and I'm not allowed to arrest them. So I tell them, all right, guys, you got to move on.
Yep.
And they say, yeah, sure. And they go around the block. They come back an hour later. They're there. 20 minutes later.
No, I would lock them up after that. Like if they're giving me, nonsense, disorderly, obstruction of
I
highway.
had 60 other calls between that one and this one. And the bottom line was this for me. Eventually, they began to accuse us of taking money from them. Not the dealers, the people.
Right.
You're not doing anything. You must be involved with them. Because people see it.
Then you said, screw it. They're going to accuse me. I'm going to do it.
I'm going to do it.
Is that what happened?
Essentially. Okay. Essentially. I mean, because what you don't understand is we were getting debriefed. If we made a drug arrest, the dealer got debriefed and we got debriefed. The dealer was debriefed. How much was there? Was it 800 or was it 1,000?
That's why I never mess with it because with narcotics.
You see,
in the very beginning, you're learning as a young cop. You see what you want. Every cop takes a little bit from who they trained and what they want. And I liked robberies and stolen cars.
Oh, that's always a good arrest.
Stolen cars are great. I actually had a supervisor who we didn't get along very well, and I got punished and sent the last out. And we had a conversation, and very big of him was like, "Listen, you have a clean slate. We're going to start this over," and we had a good talk. It was good. And he wrote me a letter to get off of that last out, saying, "I've never seen a cop able to find stolen cars without a computer like me." I felt very good about that.
Well, sure, that's a compliment.
We would get a hot sheet with a row of 20 license plates that were stolen that week.
Right.
And I would go to the copier, I'd blow it out to make it bigger so I could see, and I'd tape it to the
you were really doing police work.
The glove box.
I mean, you were actually into it.
Yeah. I mean, I did police work. Stolen cars are my thing. But yeah, I had that just a piece of paper with license plate numbers.
You did actually like you took the job. I don't want to say home with you, but you actually took it serious.
No, I took it, especially that. No, I did it. And I wasn't running around my choke out. I knew better. I didn't chase people. I drove after them. I was a veteran cop, and I knew what I was doing.
You didn't run.
No, cops. Dude, a lot of cops with a lot more time than me would come to me for advice or help or how to do things.
Yeah.
I knew how to do everything the correct way. I knew how to go around it the other way.
Had to skim.
So which way do you want to do it?
How do you want to do
Yeah,
this?
guys show up like, I kind of ding the car up. I said, well, what do you no, this is the way you got to do it, or you go see Ruiz
So Vito will take
at
care.
Dane, Ontario.
Vito will take care of it
For $20, he'll bang that out, and you won't even have to tell anybody.
Yes.
Yeah, it's yeah, but the hot sheet was cool, man. I got a lot of stolen cars that way, and or what to look for: a broken vent window in the back, or if the lights are flashing.
Yeah, the plates don't belong.
Yeah, obviously.
New screws.
Yeah, exactly.
New
I mean, that was
screws on
always
an old plate.
the plates down where we would never match. Well, then he started a livestock program, which really helped. After like 6 months, he realized I'm not going to have a car, so I better at least get the license plate to match the car, or they're going to tow it away.
Right.
So it got a little bit easier. Got easier.
Yeah.
There's always tricks. One cop, Tommy Minsky, great dude. He was an awesome cop. Would park on Kensington Avenue, and there had this factory there, and had a big box truck. And he knew if he went on the side a little ways and backed all the way up to it, when you're driving down, you couldn't see the cop car.
Couldn't see it. Yeah.
And they would stop at the light, and he just sat there all day long and ran tags. That dude got stolen cars every day like that. That's tricks of the trade.
Sure.
He had a lot of informants, and he got a lot
What
of
I
good
did is I
arrests.
backed into a tractor trailer. You ever seen tractor trailers that they drop
Yeah,
on the floor? Well, I usually back the car into a tractor trailer, and you know what I would do then?
sleep.
Go to sleep.
Yeah, listen. I knew. I got punished on. I got punished on last day.
How would you know? Why would that be the first answer you gave?
Because that's what I would have done.
Oh, okay.
I had one better, man. It is what it is. But around 4 o'clock, you get tired.
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend of mine in the district
No.
that I had a key,
Yeah.
and she used to leave a blanket and a pillow on her couch.
Nice.
And from like 4 to 6, that's where I was
Took
at.
your nap.
I had the radio turned up.
Yeah.
Nothing went on from 4 to 6.
No.
Nothing else to do.
Just Maria.
Yeah. Yeah, I just laid on the couch.
Just Maria.
I was awake. I did not sleep. I just hung out.
Yeah. I could tell the story, but I don't want to get it. I
got a couple
I
minutes.
fell asleep at a guy's house, right? Guy, friend of mine, he ran the bar. He closed the bar at 4, so I closed the bar with him in uniform. And I went to
I
went to his apartment in Sterrett City, and his name was Jackie, and his girlfriend, I forget her name, good-looking blondie, but no real interest, so it wasn't like I was looking to tag team or anything. And maybe I was, I don't know. And I did a couple bombs and shit. I'm falling, but I'm tired. It's 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning.
I hate it last
I don't
out.
give a shit tired. Even if you did a couple bumps, I don't even know. Whatever. So I'm in Bailey's. Bailey's was the name of the bar. When it's known, Bailey's, they used to call it the Bloodbath. It was so fucking good. Anyway, I leave the Bloodbath with them. We close up. I go to their apartment. And they got a big apartment in Sterrett City, which, by the way, it's all like rent control, Sterrett City. And it's one of those 70-30. 70% had to be white by law. 30% minority was all they could have in there. And that was set up by them.
That's weird.
Anyway, so half the apartments were empty because they couldn't get the local white people to rent in there because it was a dangerous neighborhood. But really it wasn't. It actually was a pretty decent neighborhood overall. So long story short, I'm sleeping on the couch and I wake up, it's 10:30 in the morning. My shift ends at 8.
Oh, God. What happened? Were they looking for you?
And they stole my Benzie box.
Were they looking for you?
They weren't looking for me.
But now we've had
They
that.
didn't even look for me.
We've had that happen. So we had.
I came in and signed out. I'm running to the precinct. My shirt's hanging out of my. I'm just trying to keep my stuff together. And one of the female cops comes up to me and looks at me and goes, "Where were you?" I go, "Do I look bad?" She goes, "Oh my God." I said, "Okay." So I go in and I change first.
What, in the new police clothes or?
No, into my civilian
Okay.
clothes. I went downstairs, changed into my civilian clothes, and looked around and went over to the sign out sheet because we had to sign out.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys
No,
did that.
we didn't sign out.
We
We're
returned.
supposed to report off.
Yeah, well, the way we reported off was to go right to the. You had to sign out at the end of every shift. So it's 10:30 in the morning. I put down 8 o'clock, whatever it was, 8:05. I think was a sign
I'm sure
out.
people have forgotten to sign out before.
Well, that's what
Yeah.
That's why I went there in civilian clothes. Instead of walking in my uniform
Yeah.
and signing out at 10:30 in the morning, I put my civilian clothes on and said, "Hey, I forgot to sign
Dude,
out."
we had a guy and girl. similar story. Fall asleep in the patrol car, and they were in the back of the store. There's a big parking lot, and it was CVS, and they locked the gates at night. So
They can't get out.
Come midnight, they couldn't get out. The cop car was behind the gate. It was locked up. We had to call the alarm company, call a key holder, had to come down and let them. It's so embarrassing.
Yeah. We had something.
That wasn't me.
Yeah, we had something similar.
Wasn't me.
We got caught in the. I'll tell it another time.
All right.
Sorry,
Listen, this is concludes our episode. Some fun stories. Again, please subscribe,
hit that
like,
button,
comment. Really helps us out with the algorithm.
I hope you enjoy our stories. We go on a riff like this. We're just sharing. We're just
get
sharing.
lost.
We're just sharing some fun.
Yeah. Hopefully, you guys enjoyed. Some people that are, we're not in the police world enjoy these stories. Maybe some cops say, F both
I did
you
the same
guys.
thing.
Yeah,
I
but
did the same
I'm
thing.
sure most of you guys have been where we at.
Yeah.
Even today, you can still do a little bit of that.
Yeah.
Doesn't make you a bad guy.
Yeah.
Anyway, please, you can go to goodcopbadcoppodcast.com. You can get us at Rumble, YouTube, Spotify, Apple, top 15% of all Spotify podcast video.
Follow us on social media, too.
Follow us on social media. You can go on our website and get some cool gear. Either way, thank you guys. Without you, we wouldn't be able to do
The Blue
any of this.
Magazine, we want to make a special mention. Thank you very much for stepping up lately.
Yes.
The Tanya Experience.
The Tanya Experience.
The Tanya Experience has really been doing a lot for us lately. Putting some things together with them.
Yes, we'll be coming out with some special events and projections. I don't know.
Material, product.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
Anyway, you guys will know.
Hang in
Thank
there.
you. Have a
Thanks.
good one. This episode is sponsored by New Solutions Network, AR Law, PA State Rep Martina White, Biondo Creative, Morrow Flooring, and Pops McCann Whiskey.